Can everyone? Let's now enter into the next session with the glimpses of the glorious past on 29th June. So let us look at a beautiful video where Supreme Founder of Hinduism expands on the black box of the avatars birth Himalayan Yatra 29th June.
Very disturbed for a few minutes. Then I saw that inside me. I don't know when and if it will all go away. I pray to her to give me a state of mind, to remain pure in spite of all that. Can you please explain Gangaji's state of mind and how can I achieve it? Gangaji's state of mind cannot be explained because she is in no mind state. I can say how to achieve it. How to achieve it is only one way, one word: be unclutched. That's all. Do we all enter human bodies 45 minutes before the birth, or it was different in your individual case? Let me explain. Shana means gap between one thought and the other thought. If you have lived a meditative mood, in a meditative mood, your Shana can be even 10 years. Even 10 years you can be without thought. If you have lived a restless life, your Shana will be microsecond. For me, when I was settling into the body, my Shana was, the 3 Shana was 45 minutes. That was the ratio with which I was settling into the body. That is why it took 45 minutes for me. For a normal human being, 3 Shana is less than a second. The touching the body, feeling the body, and settling into the body, completely possessing the body. That was a process. That's why, to make more aware and understanding, I can say 3 Shana. And I can say that is the 3 frame I saw Swamiji. First the light of the Arunachala, then being sucked into the light and seeing the Arunachala. The 3 frame which I said, that only took 3 Chanas Swamiji. 3 Chanas, that only took 45 minutes. See, what I am saying you now, I am just retrieving the black box and giving you the exact picture of what happened. Like in the plane accidents, plane crashes, they will retrieve the black box and take the information out. Same way, I retrieved the black box of my birth and I am giving you as it happened. That is the way it happened. Maybe the further explanation, even I may not be able to give. Maybe more and more contemplating on it will bring the further explanation. This is the 3 frames on it. First, the light in that South India area. The second, just being sucked into that light by a force. One more thing. That's a beautiful verse. Arunachala. It says, Adi nadam aadumalai andriruvar vedumalai sodiyad aravan joolumalai needi thalaikkumalai ஞான தபோதனரை வாவாவென்று அழைக்குமலை அண்ணாமலை. Let me translate that word. That hill is a place where the Adi, the existence lives, and the divine resides, and the great science of enlightenment, dharma, spreads. That is the hill, so powerful to pull enlightened masters from any zone. Jnana tabodhanarai vava endru azhaikkum malai. The enlightened beings will be just pulled, sucked by the hill to the planet Earth. It's like you see, if the TV station, many things are relayed, programs are all relayed. In your house, you should have a dish to pull that information. Something like that. On the planet Earth, they created few dishes to pull the enlightened masters. Again and again to planet Earth. See these, our Vedic rishis, these rishis, they were afraid that this living tradition of enlightened masters will die in the planet Earth. So they created few dish antennas everywhere. So that constantly these guys will be sucked to the planet Earth, pulled to the planet Earth. The planet Earth will not miss the living science of enlightenment. So it's one, Arunachala is one of the important dish, satellite center created by masters to pull the living masters to planet Earth. That's why they say, Jnana tabodhanarai vava endru azhaikkum malai. Adinada maadumalai, andriruvad edumalai, sodiyad aravan joodumalai, needith azhaikkum malai. Jnana tabodhanarai vava endru azhaikkum malai, annamalaye. So it just pulls. The three scenes only I saw. One, the light in southern India. The second, just being pulled. The third, Arunachala. Third, complete the hill. Means already the body has happened. These three chana only took 45 minutes. That only took 45 minutes. With that vibration or that frequency only this body has happened. I never had the idea there is a two things like enlightened and unenlightened. Never had the idea there is something called enlightenment, there is something called unenlightenment. So I never had the idea. Another one thing, Swamiji. With the 24 karat gold, you can never make jewelry. Add a little copper, make jewelry. After making jewelry, if you put that jewelry into the acid, copper will melt away, only gold will stay. Now you will have 24 karat gold jewelry. Same way, with a pure sattvic quality, pure energy, you can't make body. Add a little tamas and rajas, make the body. Once you make the body, put that body into the acid of tapas for 10-12 years. The copper, the rajas and tamas and the dirt will go away. Now the pure 24 karat gold jewelry. That is the process actually happens. That is the process of enlightened master taking birth, doing tapas and getting enlightened. That is the process of energy assuming the body and doing tapas and becoming again energy. Because the purification process of whatever little bit was added to create the body has to be cleaned. That only took the tapas time. That only took the tapas time. Ramakrishna says, the rope, ordinary rope can be used to tie. If you burn the rope, that rope will look, after burning it will look like a rope. It can never tie anybody. It can never tie anybody. So whatever you think as anger, all those qualities will disappear in master's anger. Whatever you think as lust, all those qualities will disappear in master's lust. Whatever you think as infatuation, all those qualities will disappear in master's infatuation. Whatever you think as greed, all those qualities will disappear in master's greed. So it can never neither bind him nor bind others. It's a burnt rope. That is why when people come and tell me, Swamiji, when Vivekananda was smoking and drinking, why not me? Vivekananda used to drink. And even now, if you go to the Vivekananda's temples, means the shrines maintained by Vivekananda, they will offer all kinds of champagne and everything. Even now, all the different kinds of cigar and everything they will offer. Because he used to drink and smoke. People come and ask me, when he did, why not we? Be very clear, he became enlightened, then did. You also became enlightened. Then smoke or then drink. We cannot compare their activity and our activity. That's a beautiful Zen saying. Zen master says, one Zen master, he is a chain smoker. He will go on advising people, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. Then somebody asks the Zen master, you are a chain smoker and you go on advising us not to smoke. What is this? Then he says, I am not in the same plane to whom I am advising. You have to elevate. I have to bring me down. You have to be a jinnah, means conqueror. I have to be avatara, coming down. See, conquering is different and coming down is different. You have to be you have to conquer, you have to go up, elevate yourself. I have to bring myself down. If you start bringing yourself down, where you can go down more? Where else you can go now? Already down, down, down. Where else you can take yourself? That's why beautifully there's a beautiful sense saying, do what masters say, not what they do. Do what they say, not what they do. Because you see one thing, I always tell people, don't when you eat food, don't read newspaper, don't see TV, don't do anything else. If you see me eating, actually the people who serve me, they know the moment they serve food for me, they have to get something to divert my attention. Means some paper or some book or something they have to get. In your case I say be attentive when you eat. In my case, I always divert my attention, otherwise food will not go inside. The moment I am conscious, only little will go inside and it will stop. It will stop. That's why the moment I start eating, I'll have somebody to talk to me or some newspaper. The newspaper which I would have read for 10 times, I'll take up the newspaper and start reading from the same line. With awareness, you will take only less quantity of food. In your case, you need to reduce. Otherwise, body will unnecessarily overload itself because of the taste. In my case, the taste has lost its effect on me. The people who take care of me, ask them, they will tell you, to open my mouth is like opening the, it's a big job. And it's not that I am doing purposely, I myself don't feel like it becomes a big job even for me to open. Because the taste has lost its control over me. Because of that, I have to force me to eat. I have to divert attention to some other direction to eat. So what I am doing is complete opposite to what I am saying to you too. I am saying you eat with awareness. In my case, only when I eat, I will try my best to divert my awareness. I will tell them, I will play this music. I will bring the newspaper. I will call somebody to talk to me. I will do something. Only then even 2 or 3 more hands will go inside. Otherwise, don't go inside.
Can we compare Tiruvannamalai with Himalaya?
Yes, surely. There is no need to compare. Actually, all dishes are one and the same. There is no need to compare. Different dishes established by different masters. That's all. It's all one and the same. There is no need to compare. To tell you honestly, my body was somehow trained because of the yoga. It constantly produces the chemicals, whatever is necessary for the body to run. It is running. It is actually, if the same way if it runs, how long it will run. For that reason only I try to give food. You understand? For emergency time, for whenever it is necessary. If the body manages itself, beautiful. If I allow that same thing like a regular routine, it may have the wear and tear. The automatic managing system may have wear and tear. That's why I try to give the food and try to encourage try to supply the whatever necessary for the body. That's what I am trying to do. To attain enlightenment, if one must do strong tapas, dhyanam, etc., like how you did, Swamiji, is there any other enlightened masters who adopted some other techniques to attain the same? Meera became enlightened just by singing. You said you had no karma at birth. This automatically places you as an incarnation of consciousness. For what purpose this incarnation take place? One thing, did this incarnation take place? This is the important thing. When a cotton is processed to a certain extent only, it becomes thread. Then you can say 1 thread, 2 thread, 3 thread. When it is cotton itself, can you say how many threads are there inside the cotton? Same way, when my incarnation happened, the incarnation decision is taken in a cotton level. In the thread level only you can say the purpose, reason, the logic and all those things. In cotton level, the very concept of purpose and reason doesn't exist. You understand? That's a big problem. Whenever people ask for reason and purpose, that where the decision is taken, there it was only playfulness, leela. There was no decision, there was no reason, there was no logic, there was no do's and don'ts there. In that space only decision is taken. The execution happens in a level where the reasons exist. Do's and don'ts, why, how, what, where, when. The execution happens in this level. But the decision making happened in a level where the why, what, how, why, what, where, when, then did not exist. In that level only the decision making happened. So now you are putting a question from execution level to the decision making level. I am not able to answer that because in the decision making level this logic does not exist. Maybe that word is told in the execution level itself. For the, you see, somebody like you questioned Krishna. He must have tried his best to tell that decision making level there is no logic. The execution level only logic exists. That guy may not be able to relate with that truth. What I am saying. Krishna also may not have remembered the example like a cotton and the thread. So then he has to answer something. Then he said, Paritranaya sadhuna minajaya dashkudram dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavanami yuge. Alright, now tell me, even with this sloka, what do you understand? Paritranaya sadhuna minajaya dashkudram dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. Paritranaya sadhuna, there is no definition. Who is sadhu? Whoever wins in the war, they claim themselves as sadhu. If Adolf Hitler, if he would have won in the war, history would have been different. So now we say he is the dushta. How do we know he is dushta? If he has won in the war, what would have been the history? Incarnation. He would have been incarnation. So, where is the question of definition for sadhu? Second thing, where is the question of definition of the dushta? And where is the question of all this? The basic thing itself has gone now. Paritranaya sadhuna, vinachaya dushkritam. These two has lost the meaning. Then third, dharma samsthapanarthaya. What is dharma? Tell me. Now what will you say? What is dharma? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Which dharma? Sambhavami yuge. Sambhavami. What is the difference? Sambhavami means I happen. Yuge means what he means by the word yuga. 10 years or 20 years or 100 years or 700 years or 900 years. What happens? That is the definition for yuga. If it is, yuga cannot be more than at least 1000 years. And already 5000 years over. This fellow never came back. Never returned. Now what to do? He has escaped. Whether he is frightened or not, we don't know. What to do now? So those words also is given just to make the people feel comfortable. That's all. Let it be very clear. I am telling you the truth as it is. The decision which is made to enter into the body is taken in a plane where the how, why, what, these, that logic did not have any play. See, after a certain level, even in your own life you see, when you are in ecstasy, joyful, when you are in ecstasy, you don't take decisions by thinking. Just like that you take. So in that high energy zone, the decision does not happen by logical analyzing pros and cons and plans and thinking and what will happen with this, with that. That does not happen. Just like a seed opening up and becoming flower. Just like that. That's what they say. Swabhava Chinmayananda. Just the Chinmayananda. Just the bliss. Swabhava. There is no reason, logic. So that is the zone, the decision to take birth has happened. So now in the execution level only, the logic of 1, 2, 3 and all those things happens. So this question can never be answered because the decision itself is taken in a different plane. Yes.
Intuition.
Intuition.
There is no logic.
There is no logic behind it. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever too many engrams became in your head, whenever you start suffering with too many engrams, to destroy them and to give you enlightenment, to take care of your being and to establish enlightenment in you, I come down again and again and teach LSP. That's all. Now with the higher level meaning, where you are aware of other beings and other karmas before your birth. No, before birth I was not. You see, I was aware of everything, but not as separately. See, to be aware of a cloud, you must know the silver lining. I was aware of clouds, but not the silver linings. When you are not aware of the silver linings, then the whole thing is a cloud. So that is where it was standing. So after birth only I became aware of silver linings. All the information you are giving us is appreciated. How do I know it for myself? How do I understand? The very appreciation means you have started drinking me. You have started drinking me. This very drinking is enough. It will become avara suddhi. Avara suddhayoho smriti suddhi. Smriti suddhayoho, it goes on step by step and reaches the enlightenment. Be very clear. That's why we say when a river is completely polluted, if you just drop one handful of lime in it, the lime will take all the dust and settle down. Same way, when you are completely confused by the world and the engram and the society, one handful of Master's presence is a lime, or the words of the Master is a lime. When you drop that, it just settles down completely, you become pure. So allow this sinking to happen and happen and happen. Allow this drinking to happen. Simply you will see, suddenly one day you are again completely clear. Even when I became enlightened, I will say I had no karma because that is the Vedantic truth. But what you said, that you know you had no karma at birth, looks different. Please clarify. If your statement is also a declaration of final Vedantic truth, or your declaration is different from my declaration if I am enlightened. When you became enlightened and declared that you never had a karma, that is the same way I am declaring. Be very clear. If I am not enlightened now, I will say I have karma. So be very clear. When you became enlightened and declared, that is the same way I am declaring. That's the same way I am declaring. I am no way special. When I declare I have no karma or all those things. Now what you are going through, I went through in that same period. Between I can say 0 to 12 years. Actually, to tell you honestly, after the first experience, I became enlightened. But that looks too big to tell openly. To tell that looks too big. That's the reason I go on saying, it was 22. After that, the first experience itself is an enlightenment. After that, I kept a little bit of mind to play with all sorts of techniques to create the technology for human beings. The reproduction, the system to reproduce, for that only I took 10 years. The enlightenment experience itself happened at 12. After 12 there was no suffering at all, completely no suffering. But at 0 to 12 I also had the same problems what you are having now. Same confusion, ups and downs. Just the other day David was asking, Swami, did you have ups and downs? I had ups and downs, let it be very clear. I was suffering and I tried even suicide. So let it be very clear. I had ups and downs. When I speak about biography, I will speak about all those things. I had ups and downs. I had all problems which you are having now. So when I say all, I mean ALL.
So on 29 June 2011, Supreme Council of Hinduism expands about the time shift. So let's look at a beautiful short clip.
Based on the experience you have in your inner space, the experience you are having in the outer world will be felt as past or present or future. It is such a subtle truths. Please understand. I am repeating. If you are established in stability, anything happens in your life will quickly become past. If you are established in action, anything happening in you, even you are thinking about the past or future, will become present as quickly as possible. If you are established in inertia, anything, whether your past experience or present activity, will always be hanging on future. Just with these three words, stability, action, inertia, Patanjali is playing, revealing extraordinary secrets. One basic understanding you need to have is time is like a layer. You can fast forward it, rewind it, stop it, rewind and correct few things and rerun, fast forward and clear some of the future things. Just like you can clean your face, you can brush your teeth, you can play with the time. Immediately the question asks, oh God, in that case, can I go back and undo my marriage? You can. You can. It may look very funny. What for you want to undo your marriage? You want that all the sufferings related to that should not be there in your future life. Actually, when you look back and undo the knots you created in the past, all the effects of that action, for example, I have taken the example of marriage here, example of for all the results of that action will not be there in your future.
On 29 June 2012, the Supreme Council of Hinduism expanded on Bhagavad Gita. Supreme Council of Hinduism takes up the deepest level of the subject of attachment. The last attachment we drop is the subtle clinging to being rewarded for our performance. When we implement our intense action for the purpose of receiving reward, we enslave ourselves to the source of the reward. We tailor our performance to please those who will reward us. Our actions do not spring from inner freedom. They are ruled by the greed for admiration and the fear of criticism. So on 29 June 2012, Supreme Pandu of Hinduism expands on attachment to reward is psychological slavery.
to people who are coming. They are crying to the visitors, and that brahmacharini is taking class to all the devotees, all the people who are coming here. See what all ways they misrepresent. But I don't feel I need any reward for the performance. I laugh at these fellows. I only see the dirt, the garbage which they carry in their brain in the name of mind. I tell you, reward, clinging for reward takes away your life from yourself. It is like you handing over your decision-making authority to others. Does anyone wanted to hand over their freedom to others? No. But the moment you have the clinging for reward, very subtly you hand over your reins to others. You say, you drive me, as you want I will run. Clinging for rewards. Please understand. Clinging for rewards is nothing but handing over your freedom to others. Psychologically becoming slave of others. Your thought flow, current flow, trend flow destroys your very core, your very source. Whoever you expect should reward you, they drive you. Man who pays the piper decides the tune. Same way, man from whom you expect reward, people from whom you expect reward, they decide the tune in which you are going to dance, the tune in which you are going to work, the tune in which you are going to perform your actions. The one who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. But the one who has not had the experience, acting on his own free will, clinging to the reward, becomes bound. Becoming bound, becoming entangled. That's the greatest suffering any human beings carry. Please understand. One who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. Decide not to get rewarded by anybody who is expecting reward in their life. Just take a simple decision. I will not beg from beggars. I will not expect any reward from the fellows who are also expecting reward from others. Decide. If I have to be rewarded, I will be rewarded only from a person who does not need any reward from anybody. If I have to receive, I will receive from the king. I will not beg from beggars. It is like a stealing from begging bowl. How much you will steal? 3 paise and 1.5 annas. I know some of my classmates used to steal from the blind beggars in the temple. I used to hate stealing from the beginning. I can't tolerate stealing. Even recently, in my Salem ashram, we have a huge mango grove. We have leased all the mango trees to somebody. When I went, See, mango and groundnut, the moment you see, you will feel like eating. Whoever you may be, mango and groundnut, the moment you see, you will feel like eating. So my brahmacharis, my sena, the moment they saw the mango, Swamiji, we can. I said, no, we have already leased these trees. They said, who will ask you, Swamiji? It is our property. I said, no, we have leased. If you pluck the mango from the tree without asking the person who has taken the lease, it is stealing. Then they convinced me, Swamiji, inside your quarters there is 2 trees. That tree we have not leased. That is our own tree. We have not leased those trees. I said, all right, then you can get it from that trees. Somehow from the beginning, I can't stand stealing. That statement from Isavasya Upanishad, Tena tyaktena vunjita va. There's a beautiful word. Isha vasyamidaggun sarvam yatkincha jagatyan jagat tena tyaktena vunjita va kritam. Means whatever exists is divine. Enjoy everything by sacrificing your individual possessions and identity. Do not steal anything from the cosmos. It's a very beautiful statement. It got embedded into my system. From the beginning, I can't tolerate stealing. I tell you, if you are expecting a reward from ordinary people who are also in turn expecting rewards from others, you are begging from a beggar. You are begging from a beggar. I tell you, don't do that mistake. Do not do that mistake of begging from a beggar. No. Decide. A reward for performance restricts you. A reward for performance restricts you. Beautifully Bhagavan says, Nibadhyade becomes bound. Live by giving up the reward for performance, by the non-attachment to any reward for your performance. The essence, sacred secret from this verse, as long as you have the attachment to the reward for performance, your life is going to be in hell. Your life is going to be in suffering. When you give up the reward for performance, when the tranquility happens in you, you achieve the highest tranquility. The last attachment human beings suffer with is the reward, clinging to the reward. That's the last attachment with which human beings suffer. I tell you, give up the reward for the performance. You will be into the highest tranquility. You will be into the highest peace. This time when they kept me in prison illegally, of course, last time also they arrested illegally only. This time when they kept me in the prison illegally, few of the prisoners came and spoke to me. They said, Swamiji, not only prison, the suffering, psychological suffering, we don't know how to get out of it. I said, understand, basic thing. Anyhow, by putting you in the prison, they are trying to steal your few years of your life. Now, do one thing, in these few years, decide not to suffer and build the body through yoga and proper thinking. Expand your longevity by 20 years over. You have compensated for what they are doing to you. They said, this looks a nice calculation, nice logic. I tell you, 7 years you guys have nothing else to do here. So, all you need to do yoga, heavy yoga, morning and evening. Prepare your body, prepare your mind, live a happy life, live a blissful life. So naturally your longevity will be expanded. Finally, in the end calculation, you win the game. Actually, they were shocked by the new perspective I gave, and they said, yes. I told, anything happens to you, don't give up your tranquility. Don't give up your peace. Anything can be renounced for peace. Peace should not be renounced for anything. Yukta karma balam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtigim ayukta kamagarena balas sakto nibatyate. One who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. But the one who has not had the experience, acting on his own free will, clinging to the reward, becomes bound. I tell you, from anybody who expects the reward for performance, you are bound to them. They start driving you. I tell you, all the fellows who try to drive others are crazy, so they will drive you crazy. Any driving is driving crazy. The highest liberation is neither driving nor getting driven. I tell you, I live in that way only. I don't drive anybody, so I don't want to be driven by anybody. I am very clear. When people come and ask me, I tell, all right, I'll support you to run, but I can't drive you. Yukta karma balandyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamagarena vale sakto nivatyate. When I read this sutra yesterday, I felt reading Bhagavad Gita every day should be made as a compulsory for all human beings. Every night before falling asleep, you should read at least few pages of Bhagavad Gita. I tell you, you will bless yourself, you will feel happy for yourself if you can read Bhagavad Gita every day, at least few pages. I learned this habit of reading few pages of sacred scriptures before falling asleep from my grandfather. He used to go to bed around night 12 o'clock. But even at that time, he will sit and chant Jnana Sambandar's Devaram. He can't read English, so he will read only Tamil books. 1 hour he will chant and nobody in the room can sleep. He used to sleep in the hall. I am very close to him. He is my favorite. I am his pet because I have been given his name. My pre-monastic name is his name. So I will sleep next to him only. Nobody can sleep in the hall. He had a beautiful voice. He will chant the Tirujnana Sambandar and Manikkavasagara Devarams and Tiruvasagams. The sacred secrets, the sacred sentiment verses. And after some years, before his passing away, last few years he lost his eyesight, so he can't read. He has trained 2 of his sons to chant these verses for him. No, nice thing, even my uncles, they went and learned properly to recite these verses for him, and every night they will sit and recite at least 1 hour for him. The little bit of Tamil knowledge I have, the knowledge I have on Devaram, Tiruvasagam, all that I gain from him only, from every night chanting. But I picked up this habit of reading at least some sacred scriptures before going to bed from him. I tell you, read some sacred sentiments or sacred secrets, the spiritual scriptures, something before going to bed. It enriches the quality of consciousness in which you sleep and in which you function and in which you act and in which you flow, which you carry your whole day. The essence, give up the clinging for the reward. I tell you, you may think, oh, I know all these ideas, what is there? No. Your brain needs to be reminded every time, again and again and again. Because forgetfulness is the basic quality of your mind. Reminding yourself again and again with the sacred secrets is the highest spiritual practice. So give up the attachment to the reward, give up the clinging for the reward, radiate tranquility, highest tranquility.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian, and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga.
On 29 June 2013, during presidential address, the Supreme Pandu of Hinduism explained the details of why we should take up the Nihara Samyama, and he described how all root patterns are directly or indirectly related to food, and unfortunately, we can't just perform nanosurgery to remove the patterns because they are intertwined and interrelated. In order to remove the patterns, we need to directly blast the root pattern in which all the major patterns connect to. The Nihara Samyama is a blast that we need to dislodge the root pattern, freeing up the connecting patterns that we can bring completion to our inner space. And the powerlessness we feel about food will be dissolved. So on 29 June 2013, Supreme Pandu of Hinduism expands by it tells about the technique to detox your body and mind.
stand for completion. Only the patterns related to food, for completion, to complete with all the patterns related to food, you can use your will, not for denying food to your body. Listen. You can use your willpower to reach completion. All patterns related to food I will complete from this moment. For that you can use your willpower. But you can't use your willpower to deny the food for the body. That is why I don't allow the kids to do Nirahara Samyama. Kids will not know. They need to have little more time to have clarity. There are millions of things I opened for kids, did not open for adults. But only Nirahara Samyama I opened for adults and not for kids. Because kids may start using their willpower not to give food to their body out of enthusiasm. No. You should not use your willpower to deny food for your body. You should only use your willpower to complete all the patterns related to food. Actually, when you stop giving food, you will see so much. The patterns are coming up. Denial, anger, irritation, agitation, powerlessness without feeling tired. Listen, tiredness is different. Powerlessness is different. Powerlessness without feeling tired. You may not even feel tired, but you will feel powerless. Ahar our prem, ahar our havas, ahar our chinta, ahar our bhaya. ये सभी मुख्य मूल धाराएं सीधी तरह से आपके आहार से संबंधित है। आपको जानना चाहिए कि यदि आप एक मूल को भंग करते हैं जिसके साथ सभी मूल विचारधाराएं बंधे हुए हैं, आप सभी मूल विचारधाराओं से ऊपर जा सकते हैं। आपके बाई से संबंधित सभी मूल विचार धाराएं आहार से संबंधित होंगे, क्योंकि समाज ने यह बाय आप में डाला हुआ है। आपके प्रेम से संबंधित सभी मूल विचारधाराएं आहार से संबंधित होंगे, क्योंकि बचपन में आपने अपनी माँ से प्रेम आहार की स्वरूप में अनुभव किया था। आपके चिंता से संबंधित सभी मूल विचार धाराएं आहार से संबंधित होंगे, क्योंकि बचपन में आपकी अधिकतम चिंताएं आहार से संबंधित थे। आहार आप में उपस्थित एक मूल विचारधारा हो सकता है, या आहार आप में उपस्थित सब
नित्यानंद परमशिवोहम नित्यानंद परमशिवोहम
you from the patterns of food with which you are suffering. All the patterns you created because of food, irritation, agitation, dependency, pride, love, lust. You have created even lust on food. It is one of the worst perversions. When sex is denied, you start filling yourself with food. First, Nirahara Samyama, so that all the food related patterns are burnt. Then take up the vow of celibacy, so that when you deprive your body from sex, it does not become food perversion. When you deprive your body from sex, the first thing will happen is perversion of love. You will yearn for attention. Second, you will start becoming homosexual or getting attracted to same gender. Third, you will start getting attracted to any body, whether it is an animal or a tree. Fourth, the perversion of food. All the other things society will not allow, like attention need or the perversion towards the same gender. Please understand, I am not making any comment or statement against homosexuality or lesbianism, but I am making a comment having homosexuality as a perversion. And third, having sex with the animals also will not be allowed by the society. When society does not allow any of this, naturally the allowed perversion is what? Food. Allowed perversion is food. That is why all over the world, all celibate traditions, in all religions suffers with 90% obesity. In my life, first I was initiated into Nirahara Samyama. My gurus, my teachers, my mentors first initiated me into Nirahara Samyama and trained me into Nirahara Samyama. That is why 9 years of my pilgrimage, spiritual yatra time, spiritual pilgrimage time, I was able to live without even the idea of food. Not even once I stretched my hand for food, not even once I begged for food. If it comes, I'll eat. If it doesn't, I don't even remember. I have not eaten. Understand? आपके जीवन में उपस्थित सभी प्रमुख विचारधाराओं को देखिए, जिनकी वजह से आप शक
Nithyanam.